What's up, everyone? Long time no talk. I want to make a video today about the LGBTQ plus epidemic. All right, I call it an epidemic because it seems like everywhere you turn, somebody is saying they're gay, that they're bi, that they're trans. Okay, it's all over the place. Everyone's doing it. It's like a fad, basically, at some point, right? And there's a lot of reasons why it's happening. But before we dive into that, I just want to come out and just say something that's probably going to offend a lot of people, make some people upset, angry, frustrated, right? Because it's going to disassemble a lot of these issues right off the bat, which is a very simple statement. We're all trans, okay? We're all bi. This is the reality of life. Sexuality, gender, sexual preference, sex, these are all fluid things, guys. They're not hard, rigid, and fixed, as many people would like to believe, all right? Despite what people tell you, it's not the case. There's nothing 100% in this world. Nothing. Except for maybe the absolute laws of logic that govern reality and the fact that this stupid existence even is here. Those may be logical absolutes, 100%. 2 plus 2 must always equal 4, right? But when it comes to everything else, there's no 100%. There is nobody who is 100% male. There's no one who is 100% female. I hate to break it to you guys. We all exist on a spectrum. All of us. Why do you think men have nipples? Okay? What other evidence do you need? Okay? We have no use for nipples, but we have them. Why? Because we all start with nipples. Okay? That's how it is. So if you are a straight cis male, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean, guess what? You started as a female to some extent. You have some female in you. All right? There is no 100%. And for those of you who are like, oh, I'm 100% straight, I would consider myself a straight person overall. But what does that actually mean? We don't really know. I mean, you don't know you never know the truth about anybody, okay? You could be married to somebody for 40 years and find out that they're actually male. And they can find out, they might not even know. A lot of people find out that you hear these stories about women who find out they have testicles inside their body they didn't even know for their whole lives. Turns out they have a lot more male in them than they realized, and vice versa, guys. Guys out there with a penis, but they still have ovaries. Okay, this stuff happens. This is the world we live in, and this is actually shocking news to many people, right? And a lot of this comes down because of religion. One of the most popular holy books on the planet, the Bible. Okay, it gets it flat wrong. It literally says in there that God made us male and female, and there's no middle ground. There's no third option. There's no other options according to the Bible. That's because the people who wrote it were ignorant people. And that doesn't mean they're stupid. That just means they were ignorant of the facts. They didn't know. They didn't know the fact that there are people born with both genitalia. They didn't realize that there are people who were born with a vagina who have testicles in their bodies. They didn't know there are people with penises that have ovaries. They didn't know these things, right? So they wrote from their experience. My phone keeps twisting slightly to the left, and it drives me insane. So see how it's slightly, if I turn it up like this, it's still just kind of Dude, this is the world we live in. It's like, people say life is a gift. You know what's a gift? Sleep. Sleep is a gift. But what's a greater gift? Death. Death is a greater gift. You know what the greatest gift of all is? Not having to ever exist in this stupid world. Right? Because of these things. It's like life is constantly just struggle. It's a struggle for everything. Every day you're just struggling to survive. Literally, your body is struggling to stave off death long enough for you that you can maybe have kids or something. God forbid you make a decision like that. It's bad enough we have to be in this world. Do we have to bring other people in here into this hell to suffer and have to go through all these things? And that's the world we live in. The people who wrote the Bible did not understand that there are not just male and female. They didn't understand it. People today still don't understand this. Most people do not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth right now. They can't even comprehend the idea that there are people out there who have both male and female chromosomes, right? People don't understand this. It's like I said, I would consider myself a straight male, but what does that actually mean? Well, generally speaking, if you have a beard and a penis, I'm not into that personally. That's just me personally, right? But once again, there are quote unquote cis women out there who have beards. And yes, there are women out there who have penises. These are things that most people don't even think about, right? Because it's not in your face. You don't see it. You don't experience it, so you don't know. And the problem is, our holy books are written by people who were more ignorant than all of us. Not ignorant, like I said, not ignorant in stupidity, but ignorant in just simple facts about reality and life. So, the whole conversation is silly, right? Like, oh, somebody wants to wear a dress, or somebody wants to wear heels, or somebody else wants to wear pants. Do you see how dumb all of this is to even waste our time and energy discussing or thinking about? It's probably the most useless thing ever. So somebody wants to wear blue socks instead of pink socks, and we, as a society, we have a problem with this. For what? What are we doing, man? This is all just so stupid. This entire life is just dumb and stupid. What's the point? It's like they say, you know what the real gift is? Not existing, never having to be here and to deal with any of this. But here we are. And I think that the truth about all of this is that people are just trying to make sense of this. They're trying to find something that they can feel special about, or feel, something that they can make them feel less, make this life feel less useless. Something to complain about, something to fight about, something to argue about. That's really what this is about. It's, when faced with the reality of being alive on this planet and this reality itself, you gotta have something something that motivates you to wake up in the mornings. And sometimes for people it's just causing pain and misery, right? On all sides. We're literally fighting with each other and arguing about whether or not somebody should wear a dress. What are we doing? What is this? We're all trans. We're all bi. Congratulations. Welcome to being alive in this shithole we call life. This world is nothing but a struggle. It's just nothing but how can we struggle and how can we do anything to make us feel alive? And that's really what a lot of this is about. Because it doesn't make sense at any other level, all right? Like, and I get it. I understand, too, why we have the LGBT movement and all this kind of stuff. Because, let's be real, for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, ignorant people were hurting each other, murdering each other, killing each other over these issues. Because their holy book told them something, and they believed it, and that's regardless of the facts, regardless of the truth. They just believed it, hook, line, and sinker. And next thing you know, people are being thrown off buildings. People are being hung, murdered, you know. It's still today. Still today, in 2025, there are places in this world that if you're gay, whatever, you're going to be taken to a rooftop and thrown off and stuff like this. Still, with everything we know today, with science and modern medicine and understanding and the internet, this kind of stuff still happens today. If that doesn't show you just how petty and how ridiculous we are as a species, I don't know what else to say. And because of that pendulum swung so hard for so long to that side, yeah, there's repercussions. Now the pendulum's swinging the other way. Now you have gay pride parades. You have gay everything. Gay day this, gay day that. You have trans days. You have all this kind of stuff. Why? To create more misery, right? To get back at the system for everything that's done for all these generations, even though none of us did those things, right? We all just popped into this. We just all spawned into this shithole we call life about 35 to 40 years ago, depending on how old you are. You know, somewhere in the area of the last 100 years, we've been alive, right? But all those wrongs and all those crimes and all those things that were done in the past are now here in our face. And now we're suffering the repercussions. Division, anger, frustration, you know, resentment against cis heteronormative people, whatever that's supposed to mean. And meanwhile, ironically, the whole time, we've all been bi. We've all been trans. We just didn't know it. We didn't realize it. Maybe you didn't even realize that until you heard the words come out of my mouth. And you're probably sitting there in disbelief. Oh, I'm not bi. I'm not trans. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are 100. You are for sure bi and trans. I would never have sex with a man, somebody might say. Okay, well, how do you know the people you've been with in the past didn't have testicles inside their body? Didn't carry the male chromosome? How do you know these things? You don't know these things. You could be. What if the person you're married to right now for 40 years? What if you found out they actually had testicles inside their body, and neither of you knew it? What does that mean? Well, it means you've been having sex with a man. Okay? You see how shallow and how just sad all this is? That we're even wasting our breath and our time and our energy, the little bit we have here in this hellhole, like just adding more misery to the experience for what? You're going to be dead in about 100 years. Within the next 100 years, we're all going to be dead. All of us. We're going to be laid in the ground. not existing. And meanwhile, we're wasting the few breaths we have arguing over who's gay and who's not. Who cares? No one cares. Your sexuality, your gender, your sexual preferences, all those things are your private business. And they should be your private business. It's nobody's business. It's nobody's business what gender you are, what sex you are, what sexual preference you have. People are out here, oh, I'm transgender, I'm bisexual. Whatever. We all are those things. Congratulations. Welcome to being a human. Oh, I'm straight. Okay. Tell yourself that if you want to. Leave me out of it. I don't care. I really don't care. No one cares. But people have to have something to identify themselves. And that's really what a lot of this comes down to, guys. Your whole life, people are going to want to label you and put you in boxes. Why? Because it's easier that way. It's easier to categorize somebody in a certain set of categorizations because it just makes the life easier. My life is stressed enough as it is than to figure out somebody else. So it's easier for me just to put them in a box. Oh, that's a man. That's a straight man. That's a gay man. That's a gay woman. That's a bisexual person. Meanwhile, it doesn't tell you anything. Like, it literally tells you nothing. Oh, that person's 50 years old. That person's 40 years old. That person's 30 years old. Who cares? None of that matters, right? I've met people who are 20 years old who look and sound and act like they're 60. I've met people who are 60 and 70 years old who look and sound like they're 20. So all these boxes and these labels and all these kind of things, they tell you absolutely nothing at all. And this is one of the uncomfortable truths that a lot of people just are unwilling to face and unwilling to accept. Why? Because life is misery, life is suffering, and we revel in it, right? We're all stuck here dealing with the same bullshit, and so misery loves company. People want to find ways to be miserable, to make other people miserable. It's what we do. It's what this life is. And it's honestly so frustrating. You know, it's bad enough we have to live in this world. It's bad enough we have to exist. Do we have to make it worse all the time? Do we have to why do we have to continuously go out of our way to make the world more uncomfortable, to make the world more miserable? And this is for everybody, not just LGBTQ+. This is for straight, quote, quote, straight people and everybody. We're all in the same boat. We're all stuck here, not knowing these things, not understanding, right? But it's like, the misery isn't enough. We have to add more misery and more frustrations and more arguments and complications on all sides. You know, it's like, if people would just leave other people alone in their own private matters, that would lower the suffering just a little bit. That would lower the misery in this world just a little bit. But the problem is, everybody's walking around with blinders in their faces, pretending like reality isn't what it is. Pretending like in the next 100 years they're not going to be dead and none of this will matter. Right? Just pretending. Like, who cares, dude? Honestly, if you're living your life and you're not hurting other people, You're not taking actions that are directly harming other people. Who cares what you do, what you think, or any of these things? The truth is, who even cares about us? No one. We spend our days obsessing, thinking about people who are thinking about us and what they're thinking about us and their opinions. First of all, nobody's thinking about you, okay? Except for yourself. You're the only person thinking about yourself at that moment. Let's just be real. Everyone else is busy thinking about themselves, thinking about their day, their life, their problems. They're obsessing over their own issues. They're sitting here thinking everyone's thinking about them. Meanwhile, nobody is. And that's kind of why all this happens, isn't it? Because for many of us, if we understand this and accept this, it could be a little depressing to think that no one's thinking about us. So we find ways to try to make other people thinking about us. What do you think social media is? That's all social media is. There was this old skit on Saturday Night Live. It was this character Stewie, and Stewie would just go, he'd just walk around and go, watch me, look at this, and he would just do like a little, like, I don't know, like a pose or something, you know, like kind of like poking fun at how kids can be at times. That's all social media is. That is literally what social media is. It's just, look what I can do. Like, look what I have. And it's all pathetic, dude. This entire existence is just pathetic. It's sad, really. Like the whole situation is sad. It's. I understand, and I'm not recommending this to anyone, but I understand why some people just want to check out early. Get me the fuck out of here, dude. Like, you know, I'd be lying if I never admitted that. I'd be lying if I didn't say there are times in my life where I have maybe not contemplated ending it, but I definitely have thought about the sweet release of death. Like, to get out of this hellhole. Like, you know, but no, our stupid parents, nothing against our parents, I love my parents, but our stupid parents decided to have sex one night and force us into this situation. And now we're here, stuck in this hellhole. Every day suffering, struggling to survive, you know. And that's not bad enough. Then we want to pile on struggles. We want to pile on misery. It's not bad enough we're here. But no, we have to go the extra mile. We have to find ways to make each other more miserable. Make each other suffer more. Find ways to create arguments and division, you know. Meanwhile, life is going by. Days are ticking by. Weeks, months, years. And pretty soon, you're just going to be lit up and you're this is going to be you. Done. Dead. Out. And all the arguing, the fighting, the labeling, the putting in boxes, all of these things just to be dead. It's sad, bro. I mean, this is a sad existence. You know, when you really think about things in perspective, like this, it makes no sense, dude. It makes no sense. None of this makes any sense. And I think that's what a lot of people are afraid to accept. The futility of all of this. Because if any thoughtful person ever thought about these things for more than 5 seconds, they would feel the same way. How could you not? What's the point in arguing over whether or not someone is a male or female? Especially when you consider the fact that we're all males and females. We're all both. We're all transgender on some level. If you've ever had sex, if you're a straight male that's had sex with a woman, congratulations, you're bisexual. If you've ever pleasured yourself, guess what? You're bisexual, right? You're into your own body. There's nothing wrong with that. That's all animals do these things. But our holy books tell us another story. They tell us that, the Bible talks about how gays should be killed. This kind of ridiculousness, dude. This is all petty, bro. This is all petty. It's petty on so many levels. I mean, you think there's a God out there who created all of this, the entire universe, not just the universe, not just the cosmos, but reality itself, generated reality, and he's worried about whether or not a one man is attracted to another man, or one female is attracted to another female, or whether or not somebody is a boy or girl. Knowing full and well, just like you should know by now, by the point in this video, that we're all boys and girls, and we're all trans. So the whole conversation is mute anyway. It's dead on arrival. There's no conversation to be had. Hey, I'm trans. I'm gay. Congratulations, we all are. But what do we want to talk about next? Is there an actual real thing we can discuss, or no? But it's always shallow, meaningless conversations and arguments about things that honestly we're all just completely ignorant of anyways. Now, with that said, we have to live in this world. We have to live in this shithole. And as a result, yeah, people are going to judge you. That's the way it is, So, if you want to wear a dress or wear pants, that's on your own business. Just keep in mind, we live in a shallow world full of people who are just shallow-minded. Everyone's just shallow-minded. Bunch of sheep. That's what we are. We're sheep, just heading to the slaughter. Bunch of sheep just walking around. Zombies. Most people think like this deep about any subject. More than 5 seconds, the thoughts are gone. There's no more thinking after 5 seconds. It's the same way like you have a website. You have a really nice website with a ton of information, but 99% of visitors literally stay on your site for less than 3 seconds. It's a shallow world, man. We're surrounded by shallow thinking people who just literally have not thought about a single thing beyond maybe sports or something like this, and that's a whole nother subject. It's like, why do I care about sports? What does a sport do for me whatsoever in my life? Nothing. It's like, I have nothing against people who like sports, but let's be real. What is this? It's just so, everything is just so dumb. It's just, everything is so boring. It's the same thing over and over every day. You have to wake up in this reality. You have to hear people arguing on social media about who's got a penis and who doesn't. It's so shallow, bro. Like, the whole thing is shallow. And if you're one of those people, yeah, I'm talking to you. It's like, really? You have limited number of breaths in your life. You have limited number of heartbeats, and you're going to waste it on something that doesn't even make any sense at all anyways. Oh, what about men and women? Look, I get it, it does become complicated if a person's going to prison and they want to be put in the women's penitentiary. If I was going to jail, I'd want to be there too. I mean, it sucks. It sucks we live in a world that's so broken and so fucked up all the time that we have to deal with these things. You know, men and women's sports or whatever. I mean, why do we even have men and women's sports anyways? What's the point? What is the point? We should just have sports. And if you want to compete in the sport, compete in the sport. If you don't compete in the sport. Why do we even have this? You know, men and women's bathrooms. Why do we have to have men's and women's bathrooms? Why can't we just have bathrooms? Okay? That's how I was raised. We had a bathroom in the house. You went to the bathroom in the bathroom. Men and women's bathrooms. As if it means anything anyways. What are you going to do? You're going to do a gender check on every person that goes into a bathroom? Oh, I think you're a woman. Prove to me you're not. I think you're a man. Prove to me you're not. You see how just ridiculous and petty all of these things sound when you hear them spoken out loud? It's sad, bro. It's sad. This whole existence is sad. It's just, you know, every day I wake up, not every day, but pretty much every day I just think to myself, why? What's the point? Like, I asked my parents that, why did you do this to me? Why did you bring me here? You know, it's like, for what? I mean, I'm kind of rambling on, but it's just like thoughts in my head. It's just like, dude, can we just stop? Can we stop with all of this and just be honest? We're all stuck here. We're in a prison. This life is a prison. We're just here waiting to die. That's literally what we're doing. We're all going to die. We don't know how. We don't know when. We can hope for a peaceful death. That's what I hope for. You know. But we're in a prison waiting to die. That's bad enough. Than to add all this misery. Can we just stop? Like, really? Can we just stop? Black, white, but I mean that whole you know, talking about blacks versus whites or Hispanics, whatever. I've never met a black person. This shirt, this is black. I've never met a black person. We all have different levels of melanin in our skin. Is this not? Why is this hard to understand? Some of us have more melanin, some of us have less. You can line up a picture of I saw one time a picture of, I think it was like 100 people lined up side by side, all of them having darker or lighter skin complexion, organized, and in that distinction. On this side is a very dark person. Somebody might call that a black person, which I think is a ridiculous term. There's no black person. There are people with darker and lighter skin complexion. So on one side you have somebody who has a very dark skin complexion, still not black. And then on the other side you have somebody on very light skin complexion, still not white. Okay? White is white. Black is black. All of us exist in a spectrum, somewhere in between. And what's cool about that picture is you can see that there's no way to distinguish when black starts in that line. There's no way. There's all kinds of variances of skin complexion because there is no such thing. But yet we want to label people, and we want to judge people. We want to assign people roles and put them in boxes based upon arbitrary concepts and ideas that aren't even based in reality. Black people, white people, gay people, straight people, These are all constructs, guys. They're constructs that have been embedded and ingrained in us over thousands of years, millennia even, based on primitive, ignorant ideologies that have been propagated through our species since the beginning of time. And we still just buy into it. Hook, line, and sinker. We just bite right into it. We almost love it. We almost revel in it. Adding more misery, adding more pain, adding more suffering the entire way. Can we just stop? Is that so much to ask? Can we just stop all of this? I don't know if we can. I mean, it's like we're destined to want to create misery and pain. That's what this entire life is about. Misery and pain. How much misery and pain can you take? You know, like, that's what I say. Like, if there's a God out there, dude, I don't know what kind of God it is to put us in this hellhole, to put us here. I mean, not that I want to exit this life necessarily early. I mean, I hope that I never get to that place, but like I said, like, the real blessing is never have to have existed here. You know, like, nothingness is nothingness. And, you know, if I could go back in time and get a vote, if my parents could ask me, hey, do you want to be born considering all of this? The answer's always going to be no. Don't put me here. I don't want to, like, you know. But nobody asked. Nobody asked my opinion. I just kind of showed up. I spawned into this world, just like you, just like the rest of us, just like everyone. You just showed up, and now you got to deal with all this bullshit. Dude, I'm telling you, I just sometimes I sit here and I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing to ourselves? What are we doing to each other? We got parents disowning kids because they're gay or whatever, or because they want to wear a dress, or because they want to wear pants. Dude, this is silly. This is all just so silly. It's ridiculous. It's abuse. Like, you know, life itself is abuse. Somebody said, and I thought it was great when they said, having a child should be considered child abuse. You know, like, you're literally, this life is like a burning building. Would you put a newborn baby in a burning building? No, because you're not psychotic or sociopathic, right? But yet that's what we do when we have kids. We're putting them in a burning building, which is life. Hey, welcome to life. Get ready. It's going to be a lot of pain and misery. Then you're going to die. But supposedly the afterlife is going to solve that problem. Oh, well, it's all going to be made right in the afterlife. Fuck the afterlife. Give me non-existence. That's better than anything. Like, how do you, like, oh, there's no pain in the afterlife. Okay, well, what's the point of all of this? Like, what's, just to torture us? No, you got to go through this life, and you got to be poor, or have some money, or you're going to be, you know, gay, straight, bi. You're going to be this, that. You're going to get cancer. You're going to have some kind of disease. You're going to be killed in a falling building, or, you know, falling off a ledge. You're going to break your neck in your house. Or you're going to just walk by your dish, and a dish is going to break and cut open your neck, and now you're dead. You know, whatever it is. Don't sign me up for that. That's my vote. Just leave me out of it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. I'd rather have non-existence. But no, you can't do that. I'm here now. You're here now. So all I can say is, can't we just find a way to get along? Can't we find a way to try to lower the level of misery that we're being forced to endure? Can't we just find a way to do that? I don't know. I mean, it seems to be inevitable. It seems to be inevitable. People always find new ways to torture and torment everyone else. It's just like, it's honestly, it's pathetic, bro. It's pathetic that people even waste their time and energy on this. All because their parents or their Bible or their holy book tells them to do something or to believe something. They don't even think about it. Not even for a moment. It's pathetic, bro. It's like this is the best life is. I understand why people want to check out. Not that I would recommend that to anybody. I don't want anybody. I would never want anyone to harm themselves or whatever. But hopefully, I don't know. I don't even know what to say sometimes. I get on here and I just talk sometimes, and it's like, it's therapeutic in some ways. Hopefully somebody else hears this and it's like, oh, you know what? That makes sense. I'm glad I'm not the only person thinking these things. I thought I was crazy. You're not crazy. This world is crazy. You're not insane. This world is insane. This reality is insane. It's, you're... Man, this is just sad, bro. The whole thing is just so sad. People get happy when they hear somebody got pregnant or a baby's being born. Man, I feel sad for them. I feel sad for that child, that they're going to have to come into this world and deal with all of this. We should be mourning whenever we hear about a baby being conceived. Oh, we're so happy for you. No, I'm sad. I'm sad for that child. Why would you do that to somebody? Why would you bring them in, knowing the shithole that this life is, knowing all the pain and misery they're going to have to endure, and you don't even know the amount of pain and misery they're going to have to endure? Why would you prescribe them to that? It's thoughtless, honestly. It's one of the most thoughtless decisions you can make. And then on top of that, you're going to make them feel bad because they like boys or girls or like to wear a dress or whatever. On top of bringing them into this world, you're going to shun them now because they happen to have a certain preference you don't like. They didn't ask to be here. But nobody thinks. Nobody thinks about any of these things. Nobody wants to actually think about any of this because it's too painful. It's too painful to see life for what it is and reality for what it is. So we just want to make up stories. We want to make up, invent, create narratives, to make us feel better about the inevitable truths of being alive, the curse of life. And yeah, life is a curse. It's not a blessing, it's a curse. This is a curse. We're literally living. This is like Satan's asshole is what this is. This reality. Not just the earth. Just reality itself. Consciousness. It's like, you see these movies like Saw or whatever, can't remember the movie where it's like, you want to play a game? And it's always kind of like you have to do something. You have to there's like a key hidden in a body part. You get a knife, and whatever it is, or if you don't do this, you're gonna get a saw to the neck or to the head or whatever. Squid Games. Life is Squid Games. That's what life is. We're living in Squid Games, and we're busy spending our time worried about who's painting their nails, who's not painting their nails, who's wearing a dress, who's wearing pink, who's wearing blue, who's wearing boxer briefs, who's wearing panties, who's wearing a thong. Who cares, bro? Like, for real. Do you not see the dumpster fire that you're in? Do you not see around you the inevitable truths, the truths of life? You're dying. We're all dying. As soon as you're born, you're dying. You begin the death process as soon as you're born. You're dying, and you're worried about who's wearing nail polish and who's not. You're worried about who's a boy and who's a girl. Meanwhile, we're all boys and girls. We're all trans. We're all bi. So none of that even matters. None of those discussions even matter. They don't. And on top of that, no one cares. So, what are we doing? That's my response whenever I hear somebody talking about these things. Oh, I'm gay this, I'm bi. Okay, good for you. No one cares. No one. No one cares, guys. I hope we can just move on past this as a species. I hope we can just move past this. I only got so many years left in this planet, and it's already stressful enough than to have to worry about these things, fighting over religion. You know, it's like, that's what really all this is, religious belief. There's no epistemological truth to any of these things, obviously. There is no team blue, team pink. Colors don't belong to genders or whatever. They're colors. So you like pink, so you like playing with Barbie dolls. Okay, great. Have fun. That's really what we should be saying to our kids. Is like, look, as long as you're not hurting other people and adding misery to the world, if you're happy, I'm happy. Like, you want to wear a dress? Wear a dress. Here, I'll buy you a dress. You want to wear pants, shorts? Here's pants and shorts. I'll buy them for you. You know that? No, but we can't do that. We have to put this person in us. But you know, that's all we do. Is we're just constantly putting people in boxes and categorizations. So what do you know? You got parents out here. Bad enough they had to bring the poor child into this world, but now they want to tell them everything that they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to do. Oh, you're a boy, you're a girl, you know. Meanwhile, we know that there are people, you know, you have these people who are, you know, poor, you know, you have people who are born with a vagina, and then as they go through puberty, all of a sudden they grow a penis and nobody even knows. It's not like they're walking around naked in front of people, but they're raised a female, and now next thing you know, they go through puberty and they grow a penis. And maybe they don't even tell anybody their whole life. They just continue living as a woman. But that doesn't fit in with our holy books. Our holy books tell us that there is only a man, and there are males and females, and that is it. There is not. I hate to break it to you, you're wrong. Your holy book is incorrect. There's way more than just males and females in this world. In fact, we are some combination of both. We all carry male and female essence. We are all trans. And we're all bi. And with that said, I'm going to sign off. Bye.